Welcome to this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Andy.
And I'm Felice. And we are coming to you from hot, sunny, beautiful Key West, Florida.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Felice! I haven't seen you in a million years.
I know.
We are finally reunited and it feels so good.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I'm getting us adjusted. We are really working hard on our technology. So, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going
Poorly.
ish. But we're learning.
So tell me, what have you been up to? Tell me everything.
Yes. Okay. So you were gone. I was bored. I did do a lot of podcast prep.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you very much. I did a little bit of restaurant eating and resting. That's pretty much it. I took a trip to the mainland. Yes. For one quick day, I had to do a little shopping trip and I brought presents.
Oh, no.
I brought you a present.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I love presents.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay. I got us both something. So there you go.
Okay.
That's all for you.
Oh,
And
look
then
at
I'll
that
show you, 'cause we're
spooky
matching.
bag. Oh.
So cute.
Okay, wait, let me see yours. Oh my gosh. Okay. So hers
mine
has little
is-
steeds and skeletons at the beach.
Yes.
And mine is all these spooky houses and creepy trees and some little ghosties and skeletons peeking out. So
Yes.
cute. Thank
Yes,
you.
Absolutely. Look inside.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm opening. Dun, 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 dun. Cheers.
So we both have
These
cups with
cutie,
ghosts.
ghosty.
All the
cups.
stores are putting out their Summerween gear.
I love
Halloween in the
it.
summer.
I love
Evidently, starting July 5th, it's officially Halloween season.
it. Oh, perfect.
I didn't know that until this year, but it's true.
And now you do.
Yes. And
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
tell us what it is for our listeners who are not watching this.
Well, inside our bag of gifts,
Yes.
there is a ghosty, a sheet ghost, walking a sheet ghost dog.
What kind of dog is it?
It's a weenie. So, just because I don't think I've mentioned this, I'm the proud owner of a Choweenie.
Weenie dog for Halloweeny.
It's so cute. I
It's
love
Lola.
it. It's Lola.
It's Ghost Lola. And then look what I got.
Aw.
Howdy, boo. It's a ghost, a cowgirl with pink boots and a pink hat, which is perfect because soon we will be diving into our next set of places.
Cowgirl
Yeah.
aesthetic is so hot right now.
So hot right now. So hot.
I'm gonna put this behind me.
Okay.
It's so cute. Thanks, Felice. That was
You're
so
welcome.
sweet.
Happy
Woohoo.
Summerween.
Woo! I love Summerween. Oh, I'll put my other little gift back there too.
Oh, yes. Our little jack-o'-lantern.
Wow,
Yes.
it's beginning to look a lot like Halloween in here.
Yes, it is. Every day, a little more and a little more.
I was
I
wondering,
think our husbands are going to be like, what's going on? I was at TJ Maxx today and they had some stuff. They had some like throw pillows and I was actually looking for a sheet set of like ghosts. I think it's actually this beach ghosts
oh my gosh,
and
it's
skeletons.
so cute.
I think eventually Bill will be like, what is going on?
I was cleaning today and I thought, I wonder how early is too early to start putting things.
It's never too early. It's never too early for a jack-o'-lantern or two. That's what I
Oh
say.
my gosh, I love it.
How about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, I was up in Pennsylvania where I'm from, and there was some family stuff going on, but it was good to be there and, feel that sort of like family love and support and all that kind of stuff. And then we did manage to squeeze in some fun with the kids.
Yes.
My son, he just turned 4.
Happy birthday.
And he told me that for his birthday, all he wanted was to see real live dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
So
Obviously.
there we went.
This kid knows every dinosaur,
It's insane.
like actual scientific name, by the way.
It's so crazy.
Yes.
And he uses these crazy big words aside from the, did you know that the mosasaur was the most gigantic predator? And I'm like, wow, bud. That's pretty cool.
He has a really extensive vocabulary for 4 years old.
And
I'll
a
say.
really tiny voice, so it's really
Yeah,
cute.
So cute.
But he's always like, actually.
actually. Aw, little buddy.
Yeah. So we did manage to do some fun things. We went to a baseball game. We saw some friends. We went swimming, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's
a little bit of
wonderful.
summer in PA.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So for all of you, if you haven't experienced the joy that is the You Two Scare Me podcast before, let us introduce ourselves. We are two silly friends with a love for the paranormal and telling spooky stories.
We have a deep respect for the unknown forces at work around us. Our goal is to bring you stories that spark your curiosity, give you a chill, and hopefully allow you to giggle right along with us.
The stories are all true.
We think for the first collection of stories in the podcast, we've focused on our home, Key West. But listeners, we have news.
Drum roll, please.
This is the final episode in our Key West collection. What are you doing next, you may ask?
Tell us, Felice.
Well, my little ghost, cowgirl ghost, is a hint.
Ooh.
We will be moving on to stories from our home states.
Yeah, I mean, the states where two legends named Felice and Andy were born.
Absolutely. We will be telling stories from Texas, my home state, and Pennsylvania, where Andy's from. But first, let's wrap up this fabulous Key West collection, shall we?
Let's do it. Dive into the shadows with us as we bring you haunting tales in this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast.
Shall we dive in?
Let's dive into the story of one of the most famous places on Key West that actually has ties to diving.
Okay.
The Shipwreck Museum.
Ooh.
Today, the Shipwreck Museum stands on a site steeped in history. The building is a faithful recreation of a 19th century shipwrecking warehouse that was originally built by Asa Tift, the most legendary salvager in Key West during the late 1800s. There is a tower that is 65 feet high, and the museum's observation platform mirrors those that were used over a century ago to scan the horizon. Back then, as we previously mentioned, Key West was one of the busiest ports in the U.S., with more than 100 ships passing daily through treacherous waters riddled with coral reefs. Shipwrecks were so common. Some say there was one every week.
Oh, wow. I knew they were common, but I didn't know.
I know,
it was
that
every
really
week.
surprised me too.
No wonder so many people got rich.
I know, I'm like, man, why couldn't I have been born back then? So the shipwrecks were so common that there were wreckers that would keep constant watch, ready to spring into action. Whenever there was a wreck and disaster struck, they would yell, "Wreck ashore!
Wreck ashore!" We should start just yelling that.
Yes.
Wreck ashore!
Random places, see what happens. And so whenever they yelled that, all of the salvagers would race out because the first to arrive at a wreck was called the wrecking master.
Ooh.
And they got to gain control of the salvage and all of the spoils.
Okay.
The recovered goods were sold at auction, and the wrecking courts, which were, you know, those sort of shady institutions with like bribery, little like backroom kind of deals, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
They would grant up to half of the profits from the auction to the salvagers, depending on the risk that was involved. So it was dangerous, but it was incredibly profitable.
Oh, wow.
The era of wrecking officially ended in 1921 here, when the courts shut down. But the stories and the ghosts remain. Housed within the walls of the museum are treasures and artifacts from shipwrecks dating as far back as the 1600s. Some say the spirits of wreckers and drowned sailors still linger in the artifacts and, perhaps, in the walls of the museum itself. The majority of the museum's artifacts come from the Isaac Allerton, a 137-foot-long merchant ship, which sank 15 miles off of Key West in 1856. That ship sank in deeper waters, so salvaging was difficult, and it made it the richest shipwreck in Key West history because what they did salvage totaled $50,000.
Wow, in the 18, what'd you say, in the 1850s?
1856.
Wow.
So that's
a lot of
a
money.
whole lot of money. Yeah. But because it was in such deep water, they couldn't get to everything. And then in 1985, the wreckage of the Isaac Allerton was rediscovered, and many more items were added to the Shipwreck Museum.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was super cool.
Yeah. It's probably much easier to find shipwrecks now with like dive gear.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine the 1850s?
No.
They just had to hold their breath.
Right.
I don't know how they do it.
I'm picturing
they
those
got there while it was still sinking.
Right.
You know, and they were just in a rush.
But that's so dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, picture that. Oh, I'm picturing like Titanic, the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since so many items housed within the museum come from wrecked vessels, including ones where a lot of crew members lost their lives, it's easy to understand that some artifacts might come with some extra cargo, like maybe a few spirits. Visitors report seeing shadows, capturing orbs on film, and a general feeling of uneasiness. There are also reports from museum workers and visitors of hearing stomping all around on the second floor when no one is there. Spooky.
Yes. Yeah, stomping is spooky. It's one thing if it's like a little small noise that you can go, oh, did you hear that? What was that? But stomping.
Right. That's hard to explain away.
Yeah.
In all, it's said that there are 13 spirits that haunt the Shipwreck Museum. Of all the stories tied to the museum, there's one entity that stands out. It chills both staff and visitors. They call it Daddy Longlegs.
Ooh.
I'm already
scared.
I know, I'm already spooked because
I'm already imagining. Okay, go.
According to museum employees, sightings of this unsettling figure occur most often in the basement, an area that was historically used as a cistern. Long ago, that cool, shadowy space served a dual purpose, not only keeping food and supplies from spoiling in the Florida heat, it also kept bodies.
I feel like we've talked about this before with basements and Key West. They're not common here.
Much like the chilling tales, pun intended, that we heard from Captain Tony's. Yeah. That was the other place where they said they stored the bodies.
Yeah.
Because it was a cool space. So, Daddy Longlegs is described as a shadow figure, tall, impossibly thin, with arms and legs that are abnormally long.
Ooh, like Slenderman.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm picturing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's accurate, but that's the picture that hops into my head. Witnesses report that Daddy Longlegs skitters across the floor, jerks suddenly in unnatural directions, and even crawls up the walls and across the ceiling before vanishing into darkness.
Like you know, I don't like that.
I'm down for most of the stuff, but like the crawling up the walls and across the ceiling, that's where I get a little. No. Even in scary movies when there's somebody crawling on the ceiling, I can't. Like it's said that Daddy Longlegs' moves are erratic and disjointed, and I think that would be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's like a residual energy, if it's a restless spirit, or if it's something darker. Who knows? It's spooky.
It is spooky.
But before moving on to this next one, I just want to pause to give a trigger warning for suicide.
Yeah.
So in recent years, there's been an increase in activity at the Shipwreck Museum. It's said that this is due to an incredibly sad event that happened on July 1st, 2008. At 4:30 a.m., the motion alarms at the top of the tower were set off, but no other alarms in the museum were. Everyone thought it was an error. The alarms were reset. Nobody else really thought much of it. The next morning, an employee was climbing the stairs to the top of the 65-foot tower to raise the flag and saw what he thought was red paint on the stairs. But when he got to the top, he found the body of a man who had completed suicide. So that's super sad. And
also not very long ago.
Right. This is really a contemporary kind of event. And so I want to make sure that we're treating that with the proper respect and everything.
Absolutely.
1 year later, on July 1st, 2009, the alarms at the Shipwreck Museum were again triggered. The police arrived, they checked things out, but they found nothing. An hour later, the alarms go off again. The police return with the museum manager. The manager heads to the tower. One officer remains outside, and the other 2 officers enter the museum. One officer remains on the bottom basement level, the other goes to the next level. And all of them reported experiences within the museum. The officer in the basement reportedly saw a full apparition of a man who he said carried a feeling of sadness with him.
Oh.
After making eye contact, the apparition turned and disappeared through a wall.
Oh, wow.
The officer on the main floor was making his rounds, and he claims that he heard footsteps following him. All of a sudden, there was loud banging on all 4 walls.
Whoa.
So scary. He calls to the officer outside, and he's like, hey, make sure it's not hooligans from Duval Street just being silly.
Sure.
And the officer reported that no one was anywhere near the building. The manager, remember, was up in the tower, came down from the tower and was reportedly pale and super scared.
Yeah.
He would not share what he saw or experienced at the top of the tower.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'd like to note that Key West is a really small town. And so when anything happens, we all know each other today. And this was, not, I mean, it's recent, but it's a little bit back. Mm-hmm. Like everyone knows each other here. Mm-hmm. So there, there's no doubt in my mind that when he got up there, he may have known that person or their family or,
Mm-hmm. What's interesting, when I was looking into this, I saw a few things that said that the person who completed suicide wasn't a local.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, and there wasn't a lot of information. And so I'm really trying to tread lightly around that situation. But from a couple sources that I saw, they said it was not a local person, but it's such a sad,
oh my gosh,
awful thing. So that night, the alarms at the Shipwreck Museum were triggered 5 times. Ooh. And it was the 1-year anniversary of that man's tragic death.
Wow.
It's reported that every July 1st, strange things happen at the museum, including the alarms going off. On the 10-year anniversary of the man's death, the tower was struck by lightning.
What?
I have chills.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just so much going on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get a little lighter if we can in this ghostly realm we're in.
Yes.
So the strangeness and the history at the Shipwreck Museum doesn't stop in the basement or at the tower. Upstairs lies one of the most infamous artifacts on display, a 64-pound silver bar recovered from the wreck of the Spanish ship, the Nuestra Señora de las Maravillas.
Oh, okay. Using your Spanish.
The Nuestra Señora de las Maravillas sank in 1656. Thank you.
Okay.
After colliding with another ship during a violent storm in the Bahamas.
Oh my gosh.
The vessel was carrying notable treasures, gold, silver, and emeralds that were bound for Spain. But it never made it. The ship went down, also claiming the lives of over 600 men. During the frantic attempts to recover the treasure, 6 more ships also sank throughout the years. Yeah. So some because of storms, some because of sabotage, and some say because of a curse.
Mm-hmm.
The silver bar that's now displayed in the Shipwreck Museum is one of the few items that was recovered from the Maravillas. But some say it should have stayed at the bottom of the sea because they think it's cursed. They say that those who touch it, especially sailors or boaters, that if you touch it, misfortune may follow.
What kind of misfortune?
Well, when
us.
we visited the museum on a haunted tour, the guide invited everyone to try lifting the bar. But before anyone reached for it, we were giving the warning. If you're heading out on the water in the next few days, you might want to think twice. We were told that there are actual reports from visitors who touched the silver bar and experienced sudden illness, unexplained mechanical failures at sea, and even boating accidents in the days that followed.
Ooh.
So?
Do you have to write a letter to the bar of silver.
I don't believe there's any apology bars at this time, but you could be the first.
I didn't touch it.
I was going to say, do you think it's a coincidence? Do you think it's psychological suggestion? Or do you think there's a curse?
I lean toward there's probably a curse. I mean, if it's happening to lots of people and lots of people have talked about it over the
Right.
there's got to be something to it.
Something weird, right?
Yeah.
There's some bad juju out there.
Yeah.
So needless to say, we did not touch the silver bar.
Thank you. As we said, we respect those forces. We do not mess with that.
We sure do. Yeah. No, thank you. Well, that is the Shipwreck Museum. Just a few little spooky hauntings there.
Mhm.
But we're not done yet. As we wrap up our Key West collection of haunted histories and maritime mysteries, we'd be remiss not to end at a place that holds more souls than any other in town.
Okay.
A place where the living can walk among the long dead. We're talking about the Key West Cemetery.
Right.
Located in the heart of Old Town, the cemetery is 19 acres, and it's been a resting place for the island's dead since 1847. In 1846, a devastating hurricane slammed the island, sweeping through the original beachside burial ground and disinterring the dead.
Oh, we heard about that on our trip, on our haunted Key West Ghosts and Gravestones trip. They talked about that, yeah.
Yeah. So, the people of Key West quickly determined that the cemetery needed to be moved to, quote, high ground. So, in Key West, there's not much high ground. But they found a place that was a whole 16 feet above sea level.
Okay.
So,
We'll take it.
that's where the cemetery is today. And today, an estimated 100,000 souls are buried there.
Wow.
So that outnumbers the living in Key West by 4 to 1.
Wow, that's so crazy. Because it really, I mean,
Like 19,
it doesn't look that big.
19 acres sounds like a lot,
Mhm.
but when you see it, it's not. Right.
Yeah.
Among those buried are sailors and mariners, veterans from nearly every major American war, priests, millionaires, and cigar makers. There are Cuban independence fighters and the common people. There's people of every race, background, and denomination that share this sacred ground. The Key West Cemetery is interesting and eclectic.
It is.
You'll see everything from humble, crumbling headstones to elaborate family mausoleums behind wrought iron gates.
Mm-hmm.
There's a large stone angel, which I'm sure you've seen now. Like, it's so prominent.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever seen this one? There's a statue of a naked woman that's chained with her hands behind her back. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And there's a lot of rumors about, what this means and who it represents and all this stuff. But there's no answers.
Oh.
There's
a mystery.
It is. History is mysteries.
Wow.
There's even a giant conch shell marking a tomb, standing as a tribute to the Conch Republic.
Okay.
One of the most striking monuments is the one that's dedicated to the sailors of the USS Maine, a U.S. Navy ship that exploded mysteriously in the Havana harbor in 1898, killing 260 men. They're still debating what caused the explosion. 24 of those sailors who were killed were brought to Key West and buried here. The cemetery also contains a rare brick crypt, and it stands out because it looks so different from everything else there. It's built in a style that's more commonly seen in those above-ground cemeteries in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But one of the most entertaining parts of the cemetery are the epitaphs. B.P. Roberts' epitaph says, "I told you I was sick."
You had to have the last word.
Right? Gloria M. Russell's reads, "I'm just resting my eyes."
Aww.
That was cute. Alan Dale Wilcox's says, "If you're reading this, you desperately need a hobby."
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
And Edwina Lariza's gravestone says, "Devoted fan of singer Julio Iglesias."
Oh. I think I My dad also is a dedicated fan of Julio Iglesias.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what would your unique epitaph say,
Oh my
Felice?
gosh, I don't know. I would have to plan it. I'm gonna have to think on that one. How about you?
Oh gosh. I feel like mine would be like, what in the world?
Mine would probably just be like, dude.
I noticed that when Ryan, my husband, gets really upset about something, he's like, bro. And I'm like, don't bro me, bro you, bro.
There you go.
Oh.
That's what his will say.
Bro.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's talk about some notable graves within the cemetery that tie into our earlier Key West episodes. Walter C. Maloney, a former Key West mayor, is buried within the cemetery. His great-great-grandson salvaged stone from the Isaac Allerton, the shipwreck that helped fill the Shipwreck Museum that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So that's what his gravestone's made out of. Also in the cemetery is Joe Russell, Hemingway's bartender at the original Sloppy Joe's,
Joe,
which became Captain Tony's.
Okay.
Barbara Mabberty, our trusty lighthouse keeper, is also buried there. We could go.
We love you.
Yeah. You can also find the Geiger family, whose former home is now the Audubon House.
Yes.
Captain Francis Watlington, who lived with his family in the oldest house. And Manuel Cabeza, whose sad story was in the Old Town Jail episode.
Oh, yes.
Manuel was the one who was in the jail with the Ku Klux Klan and all that stuff.
Oh, no, you're right. His wife, what was her name?
I don't.
Angelina.
I can't remember.
She did the curse. Remember?
Okay.
She cursed the trees and she cursed the people that killed him, and then they all had unfortunate accidents.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So Manuel is resting at the cemetery. Another notable plot within the cemetery has 3 Yorkie Terriers and a pet key deer named Delphina buried there.
Wow.
This plot belongs to the Otto family. You know, Robert the Doll's family.
Yes.
Robert the Doll's best buddy, Robert Eugene Otto, is buried in the family plot.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Gene's there. And of course, we can't forget that somewhere within the cemetery's walls lies the unmarked grave of Elena Hoyos, who sadly, even in death, could not escape the obsession of Karl von Kossel.
Yes.
So many people from our stories
are
buried there. Yeah.
We need to go check it out.
There's a map with all of the, I poured over this map and I found all of these people that were buried there. And then there's also some of the more notable statues and epitaphs and things marked on there also. And then people who also were very important to Key West history that we maybe didn't discuss because, you know, we're focused on the paranormal, but people that are really important for this place.
So we'll go there and we will get some clips and some things to put on our social media so you guys can see it and check it out.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. And it really is a beautiful place.
I just walked through there with our friend Greg last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
It was nice.
It's so nice. A lot of people walk through there during the day. It's peaceful and beautiful.
It really is. So, of course, with so many souls gathered in one place, and many of them carried there by tragedy, we'd expect some ghosts. There are stories in the Key West Cemetery of restless spirits, unknown sounds, and even full-bodied apparitions.
Whoa.
Some visitors have reported hearing the voice of a little girl asking them to play with her and follow her. When people follow the voice, they end up at the grave of a young girl. Would you follow the voice?
You know the answer to that question.
I thought maybe if it was a child voice, you might be different.
Absolutely not. No.
Come play with me.
Nope. It's a no.
It's a no from you, dog.
No, it's going to be a no from me, dog.
But people report that the voice seems almost playful and they don't experience any feelings of fear.
Okay.
But there's another spirit whose presence does invoke some fear. There is said to be the spirit of a Bahamian woman who roams the grounds of the cemetery. Staff members and visitors have reported seeing her during the day and during the night.
Ooh.
When she is seen, the spirit of the Bahamian woman appears to become very angry. People say that they feel scared and threatened by her. However, most often, this spirit appears when people are being disrespectful in the cemetery.
Yeah.
She seems to appear when people are sitting on gravestones or walking on the graves. Which, why are you doing that anyway?
PSA, don't do that. It's rude. It's disrespectful.
Yeah. Have a little respect.
Mm-hmm.
People speculate that she is the protector of the dead, while some psychic mediums claim that she's searching for someone with whom she is very angry.
Oh, gosh.
Whenever people get close to the woman's spirit, she disappears before their eyes.
Wow.
So the next time you're in Key West, maybe you pop in your earbuds, listen to this cool podcast, see if you can find some of the notable graves of those people mentioned. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll run into one of the ghosts in the cemetery right here in Key West, the island that's also appropriately known as Bone Island. What do you think? You gonna go check it out?
I think it's actually such a nice place.
It is.
It is.
It doesn't feel spooky.
No, it doesn't. And you can't go there at night. It's locked up at night.
Yeah. You can walk past, but
yeah.
Yeah.
You could walk past and see if you could see the Bahamian woman, but I don't think you can go through there at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh,
very good. Thank you for sharing this with us and helping us wrap up our Key West adventure for our paranormal adventure. I have a feeling that we'll probably pop back into some Key West stories here and there.
For sure. There's so much here.
Yeah.
But I really loved, though, that when I was looking at that map and everything, that so many of the people that we've mentioned or talked about are buried right here.
Yeah.
And it's just like
that's cool.
A real life kind of connection, to these
small
stories.
Town. It really is a small town, even though it, it spans a couple hundred years or whatever,
right.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, it is time for Somebody Told Me.
Yay!
This is the portion of our episode where we share stories from our listeners. This story is from Emily, and she said, "Hey ladies, longtime listener, first time caller. My name is Emily, and I know the Andrews family from Florida. So we lived in the same town probably, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I am a huge Halloween queen, and we go all out for the holiday.
Ooh.
This is the best part. As soon as we started making our podcast, I was like, ooh, this girl's going to love it.
Oh, yay.
Yes. I've always had a fascination with all things spooky since I was a kiddo, reading the original Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. Absolutely. So today I wanted to share with you one of my own personal spooky events, and this is 100% true. So when I had just turned 16, I went and got a job at our local movie theater. That was also my first job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I knew.
It was a 7-screen theater, and this was back in the day when movies were not digital and were still built reels that were shipped in giant metal containers.
Oh, you had to switch the...
Yeah, they were like the big kids. You may not know what this is, but...
Look in your history books for the
reels of film, and they made a big
1900s.
Circle. Yes. You had to then put the film together by splicing the reels together and putting the completed reels on large tray tables.
Did you do that during your job, Felice? You were just like sweeping up popcorn?
Yes. I was like putting the butter on the popcorn and giving people their large Diet Coke, So she was very advanced in this field, I would say.
Great job, Emily.
Nice job, Emily. So there were usually 3 tables per theater that they would lay these reels on when they were putting them together. And you would thread the film through the projector. Once the film ran through the projector, it would wrap itself onto another tray table. So when the movie ended, you could start over from the next table instead of having to move the entire roll of film back or the film ending up on the ground, because when the reels were fully built, they were heavy and it took more than one person to move them.
Oh, wow.
I promise these details come into play later. That's what she said. Stick with us. The projector room was upstairs, and it was this very long hallway where the two largest theaters were in the front and all the rest were down the hallway. You also weren't allowed to have the lights on when the movies were playing because customers could see the light from the projector window. So we had to use flashlights the majority of the time while working upstairs.
Okay.
This theater was fairly new and had been built years after the old theater in town had caught fire and burned to the ground. I will say that a few of us who worked there definitely had the feeling that the place was off in one way or another. And by the time I stopped working there, I had actually refused to go in the building alone unless I absolutely had to.
Oh.
The very last theater, number 5, that was all the way in the back, always had weird vibes. It was always colder than the other theaters, and it always just felt very off. So after a while, I got promoted to a supervisor position at 16. Go, Emily.
Emily, excuse me.
Wow. Which meant that it was my job to start the films. When we were up in the projector room starting movies, we would communicate with everyone else by using walkie-talkies to see if there were any issues downstairs, if any tickets had been sold for other movies, so we would know to start the movie instead of having to run up and down just to check, bring stuff down from the stock room, things like that. We also had a panel downstairs that had yellow, green, and red lights for each theater. Yellow meant no movie was running, green meant that a movie was running and all was good, and red would flash and beep, meaning there was an issue with either the film or the projector, and that would alert you to get upstairs and check it out. So this happened over Thanksgiving because theaters are open 365 days of the year, and holidays were always our busiest days. That's true. My high school best friend was working with me at the time as well. So I was up in the projection room getting films threaded through the projectors before any had started running for the day. I had all the lights on at the time, and I was waiting for a bit to see if any other movies sold before I went back downstairs. I didn't hear anything for a bit, so I turned off the lights and headed back down. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, a few families came in and bought tickets for a movie. The movie was Yours, Mine, and Ours, to be exact. It's such a little snapshot in time, you know.
Yeah. I don't know that movie.
Well, I do. I've seen it. I don't remember a lot of details from it, but my movie that I remember when I was working at the theater was Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh,
so
classic.
It sticks with you. So this family came in to buy tickets for the movie that hadn't sold, and that meant that she would have to go back upstairs to start it. I get up to the projection room, and I just get this feeling in the pit of my stomach. Everything just felt off, and it was eerily quiet. Everything sounded like the volume had been turned down, like all the noises were muted, or I had noise-canceling headphones on or something. I pushed past the feeling and go start the movie. Everything starts smoothly, and I turn to walk away when I hear the projector kick off. I go back to check it. Everything looks okay, so I just chalk it up to a fluke and start the movie back up. But there's no sound. At this point, I'm flummoxed. Good word.
Yeah, wow.
Go, girl. And trying to figure out what's happening. I get it straight, turn the lights off, then go downstairs. 5 minutes later, the theater alarm starts going off. Now I'm getting really annoyed. I go back up. The film is tangled in the projector, and the lights were on. I see the lights on, and immediately the hair on my neck stands up, and I get goosebumps because I know I turned the lights off. I push all of those feelings down again and get the film fixed. Start it back up again. No sound. What the hell? What the hell? Now I'm feeling like I completely messed up when I threaded the projector. I mean, obviously, I'm the common denominator here, right? Nope. Everything is exactly how it should be. I triple check everything. Start the movie again. Turn the lights off, and go back downstairs. I'm thinking I'm in the clear. No. Probably 15 minutes later, the alarm goes off again. I get chills. I am dreading going back upstairs, and nobody can come with me because they're all swamped selling tickets and concessions. So up I go on my own. I get into the stairwell, and I feel sick. My feet feel so heavy taking each step up. I finally get to the top and open the door to the room, immediately notice the lights are on again. I walk down the hallway to the theater. The entire roll of film is off the tray and on the floor, like someone had picked it up and placed it there. I am completely dumbfounded. I get chills. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. And out of the corner of my eye, I see someone walk past the front of the hallway.
I got it, Jill.
I remember vividly what they looked like. A tall man with blonde hair, a red shirt, and jeans. I scream because I know I'm the only one up there and we don't wear red shirts as our uniform. So I know it isn't one of my coworkers.
Oh my gosh.
I use my walkie-talkie to tell my friend to come upstairs and I run to the front of the hallway to see who's up there. There's nobody. Nothing. At that moment, all the lights turn off. I'm petrified.
Oh my gosh.
I'm stuck. My legs won't work. A minute later, my friend bursts through the door and turns on the lights. I asked her if she passed anyone on the stairs. Aside from workers, nobody should have been in the hallway anyway. She says no. She looks around and is just as thrown off as me, trying to figure out how in the world the entire roll of film ended up on the floor when it takes 3 people and tools to move them. She says to me, I don't know what's going on up here, but I've got a terrible feeling and we should go. Say less, girl. We run downstairs. I called my boss and told him what was going on. We ended up refunding everyone's tickets and not running the movie for the rest of the day.
So, I'm just wondering what this family who's sitting in the theater, they're like what is going on?
Oh my gosh. My shift was over after that, and the second shift was coming in. So I told my coworker what had happened. He told me that he had weird things that had been going on as well in the projection room, but nothing to that extent. He went upstairs with me and my friend, and we got the film back on the tray, but we were all so uncomfortable and rushing to get done and out of the room. After that experience, I never went upstairs alone anymore. And on the off chance that I had to, I always had a walkie-talkie or my phone and went as fast as I possibly could to get everything done. I never went up there without the lights on again.
Oh my gosh.
I ended up finding a new job a few months later and leaving the theater, but I will never forget that experience as long as I live. I can say that was the first moment in my life that I had ever felt true terror and being genuinely scared to the point of having a visceral reaction like clammy hands, cold sweat, sick to my stomach from fear. I have never had that exact feeling again, and I hope I never do.
Whoa.
That is crazy.
I have so many questions. Number one, okay, that sounds like a more contemporary ghost, right?
Yeah.
Like jeans and a red shirt.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know? So I'm wondering who that no, was this theater on the same exact site where this other one burned down?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering that too. As I read that, I was wondering if it's like if it was the same place.
Oh my gosh. Because then that, you know, I feel like explains some things.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, this is so dumb, but the other thing I kept thinking about was, what is this movie about? Maybe they just really hated this movie.
I think it's a rom-com. I don't know. I don't think it's like intense.
They're like, no, I hate Meg Ryan.
0 stars. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Wow.
that is a good story. So she, this is the end of her email. I'm sorry this was so long. Love the podcast. Keep up the excellent work, ladies. I have a few other little stories here and there. One from my time in the Coast Guard when I was stationed on a ship.
Ooh.
So I can definitely send them in at some point as well. Much love and support to you all.
Thanks,
Thank
Emily.
you, Emily. Oh my gosh, what a good creepy story.
That was
So good.
super spooky. And also I really appreciate your vocabulary choice.
Yes. Flummoxed.
Wow.
Nicely done. Yes.
Wow. That was awesome. Thank you. And thanks for sharing that wonderful story, Felice.
Yeah. It's my
You
pleasure.
did a great job reading.
It's my pleasure.
And you did a great job reading the word flummox.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, so much for listening to and downloading this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. Have you checked out our website, you2scareme.com? You can find blog posts about our episodes, super cool photos of us, and links to buy our sweet merch.
Listeners, like what you hear? Help us reach more ears by sharing the show with your fellow weirdos.
You can also help us by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts. It is most helpful to us when our listeners download the episodes.
Don't forget to check our social media. Find us on Instagram at you2scareme_podcast or our Facebook page, You2Scare Me. You can even follow us on TikTok. Just search You2Scare Me podcast, no spaces.
Oh, yeah. Felice is doing such a great job with it.
Thank you. I'm working on it. Follow us.
Remember to send us your own spooky stories for our Somebody Told Me segment at you2scaremepodcast@gmail.com. That's YOUTWO scaremepodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for wandering through the shadows with us.
Until next time, stay curious and beware what lurks beyond the light.